TikTok is officially getting banned, or at least that's what it looks like. But we do have some good news as of recent, but we'll be getting into that later in the video. Now, there's been talks about this for a very long time, but it seems to obviously finally be happening, as the Supreme Court hearing the other day did not go well at all. People are still in disbelief saying things like this. Same time next year? Because the government has literally tried to ban TikTok every single year, but it's never gotten this far, to the point where Joe Biden, literally a few months ago, quickly signed a new law called the Protecting American from Foreign Adversaries Applications Law, which in this case would get TikTok banned.
I just signed into law the national security package that was passed by the House of Representatives this weekend and by the Senate yesterday. It's going to make America safer, it's going to make the world safer, and it continues America's leadership in the world, and everyone knows it.
This was something that him and the Democratic Party agreed on unanimously. Another argument they had was that the App Store just needed more regulation and less foreign involvement, especially from our foreign enemies. But if this was truly the case, why not ban Temu? I mean, it's literally been proven that Temu steals valuable data from Americans every day, and they obviously don't seem to care about that, but they're concerned about our safety. Listen to this clip from attorney from TikTok, Noel Francisco, as he makes some great arguments here.
Shein relies on tracking and analyzing user data, draws on customer data and search history with the assistance of artificial intelligence algorithms. It requests users share their data and activity from other apps, including social media. So they apparently go into your social media apps and suck up all of the information. Because they're e-commerce apps, they take names, addresses, and credit card information. If you look at the privacy policies on their website, they collect location data. It looks like they might even collect, at some level, GPS location data. So they collect massive amounts of data.
Again, just as Joe said, if you're gonna ban TikTok, might as well ban Temu, Facebook, etc. They all steal just as much info. But then they want to blame TikTok? Anyone who's saying that literally needs to go kick rocks. I can almost guarantee and promise you that the US government steals way more information than TikTok does. Like, just listen to this girl, it is ridiculous.
That when it comes to media apps like TikTok, we are failing our children and we are failing our country. Why in the hell would we allow a foreign adversary like the Chinese Communist Party to control a technology platform and key source of information that reaches half of the United States population?
Like I kind of mentioned previously, TikTok has been on the chopping block for years. They have wanted to get rid of this app for a very long time, as it's been feared for a long time that China is using TikTok as a tool to collect data and information from Americans, but also to launch what they call a digital war, as they argue that TikTok can trick people into plotting against each other. Like, we have so many other things we should be worried about right now than TikTok. Like, I don't know, maybe the California wildfires, or maybe even the drones that were flying all over the US that nobody knew anything about. I mean, the government didn't even know what was happening, apparently. But our focus should not be on an app. It should be focused on real world current problems. Now, with all this bad news, I do have some good news. Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, has offered to buy TikTok and has offered up $20 billion to buy the app, because originally that was the problem. They just wanted the app to be owned by an American person. And if Kevin bought it, it would be. Unfortunately, this isn't the main problem anymore. TikTok has made it abundantly clear that they will not be selling to anybody in the US or be selling their app in general. As they said, if the US continues with the initial ban date of January 19th, they will be shutting down all their American offices. And I mean, the US must really think China is up to something, because they classified this as an emergency. I mean, hence why the Supreme Court literally settled this dispute in 2 days. Stuff like this can traditionally take up to years, but not when it comes to TikTok, I guess. I don't think they realize how many people this is truly going to affect. Or maybe they do and just don't care. Like, if you guys listened to Elizabeth yesterday during the Supreme Court hearing, it was just repulsive. Trying to listen to her on the point on why TikTok should be banned, to the point that she literally had the whole Supreme Court laughing at her. Like, just take a look at some of these recaps. People did not like her at all.
This woman, we're not even going to say her name. She sucks, all right? She is the one who is trying to get TikTok banned. She is the one who is arguing for the government. She had the most annoying voice that we heard. Everybody called her Edna Moe, and she was just not fun to listen to. Also, she got absolutely cooked by the Supreme Court every chance they could. What does this mean for the TikTok ban? I have no idea.
Which again, what happened on live TV with Elizabeth did look good for TikTok, because again, her points were stupid and made no sense, because I feel like truly that the Supreme Court has already made their decision, unfortunately, based on, once again, how the hearing went the other day. TikTokers are really starting to get concerned. I mean, shit, I would too. That's my livelihood at that point. And it's gotten to the point where they literally quote-unquote sued the government not once, but twice. Take a look at what they had to say regarding the whole situation.
Stephen and the other creators involved in this case, Brian Fireball, Chloe Joy Sexton, Talia Cadet, Brett, Timothy Martin, Kira Span, Paul Tran, and Christopher Townsend will all be sitting there at the Supreme Court as lawyers for TikTok and the federal government argue in front of the justices tomorrow. The Supreme Court will hear those oral arguments in the TikTok case at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Now again, TikTok has been viewed as a national threat to America for quite some time. As I keep saying this because every year they release a new law that stops TikTok from doing something or being somewhere. I mean, hence the government releasing the Non-TikTok on a Government Device Act. And this was to combat potential information theft because TikTok did in fact admit they had been surveilling US locations as well as holding US data. But that's not just TikTok, that's all apps. That's why they ask you for your location, your email, and etc. Because unfortunately those apps and companies do end up selling your data. As of right now, TikTok is still set to be banned on January 19, 2025, unless the Supreme Court rules otherwise, which we will be finding out next week. Though this is a direct violation of the First Amendment freedom of speech, the government essentially said, we don't give a fuck. But this is supposed to be a free country? Okay. Their excuse is that China is going to advance in their own geopolitical interest and spread misinformation, especially during a time of crisis. Like, even Trump is opposed to banning TikTok. Take a look at this.
TikTok, that's for sure.
I will never ban TikTok.
Thank you.
Which is actually funny because originally Trump wanted to get it banned until he realized how important this was to the people.
Looking at TikTok, we may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options.
But back then, Biden was actually the one to block the bill. Hey, it looks like the roles have switched now because now Trump wants to keep TikTok and Biden wants to take it away. But anyway, Trump wants to save TikTok now. He actually just met with the TikTok CEO recently and praised him for his app and how influential it was on getting him in. Like, just take a look at this comment he made regarding the whole situation.
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok has something to do with it.
Not only does he want this app back because of the people, he wants the app back because it would make him look like a hypocrite. Because TikTok was a big reason why he got elected president. He even discussed plans during the meeting with the CEO to find a compromise, but as of right now, there isn't even time for that because TikTok would be getting banned on January 19th, and Trump doesn't even go into office until January 20th. So by that time, it would essentially be too late, which is why Trump is trying to get the Supreme Court to pause the law until he can get into office and try to find some type of compromise. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today, and I will be keeping you guys updated about this whole situation. So if you guys liked this video and felt it was very informative, make sure you guys give me a like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.